It seems that as much as we've seen the rand strengthen from those earlier levels of 6.92 that we saw yesterday, there's still a lot of caution in the air.
Good morning, Alishia. Yes, I think there's a lot of nervousness out there ahead of this Greek decision, whether or not they will pass those austerity measures. Odds are that they probably will. There was also some very encouraging developments yesterday by some of the Greek bondholders out there that are saying they're willing for those bonds to be rolled and extended out to longer periods so that Greece has the wherewithal to make good on those payments. So at the moment it's looking as though we are going to go ahead with this austerity package, and of course if we get that austerity package through, then Greece will get in the very short term some more funding from the IMF and the Eurozone finance ministers, and of course that just avoids a default, at least in the short term. Yeah. So at the moment it looks like we're going to get it, but there's still a lot of nervousness, as we say, and the market's uncertain. We don't know how this whole situation is going to play out, and as a result risky assets like the rand remain a little bit under pressure. Of
course, the more uncertainty there is, the more chances of emerging market currency weakness. So let's take a look at the implications or the fallout of a no vote, Michael.
Yeah, I think if we don't get the vote, I think we'll be at 6.98 in a heartbeat, possibly even over the 7 rand handle very, very quickly. As you say, it won't bode well for kind of those emerging markets, currencies, and we've seen it quite clearly once again. You know, the rand was obviously one of the big beneficiaries of carry trades and commodity booms over the past few years. But this year we've seen every time there's been a bit of risk aversion, the rand has taken a pounding, and I think this would be no exception. If the markets are jittery, the rand will sell off quite quickly up to those levels, I believe.
What kind of dollar are we actually looking at here? I mean, is the strength we're seeing in the dollar mainly as a consequence of euro weakness? Because it would be telling as to how quickly we could see that dollar strength unwind.
Yes, absolutely. I think the dollar has been benefiting kind of from a safe haven bid related to the concerns within Europe over the past fortnight or so, and people are buying US treasuries as a result, and people also plan into the Swiss franc. But the dollar has regained a bit of its safe haven, not because of anything else other than Europe is just probably the worst of the two evils at that point in time. Europe, I mean, at least the States is by no means out of the woods yet with its own problems, but it benefits almost by default.
Of course, the data that we've seen on the economic front filtered through from the US has been less than stellar. We've got today June consumer confidence data being anticipated, and that would further indicate as to the health of the US economy. What are you broadly expecting in that regard?
Yes, I think that's going to be key to look at, as well as would the employment figures later on. And you know, I think that we have to keep a firm eye on what's happening to that US recovery. It has been kind of stuttery, and we're hoping that we're going to see a bit more of an improvement, because that would add a bit more of an advantage to the dollar over and above that kind of safe haven bid. So we're watching those numbers. Obviously, if they impress, it will encourage the growth recovery within the world's largest economy. But as you said quite rightly, for the past couple of weeks, the data has been far from inspiring.
When it comes to the trading range for the rand, are we looking at support at 6.87 and then resistance at 6.92? Because that seems to have been the case that's been pegged out so far this week.
Yeah, I think so. I think that range is more or less in line with our kind of thinking. I think, you know, if we look at the broader range, we're still kind of within that 655, 705 range. As I say, you know, if we see the wheels coming off today with Greece and the package not being approved, then we could maybe breach that rate to the upside. But I think for the most part, we, you know, now hinging on the upper end of those ranges that we're talking about, and as a result, risk reward, it's very difficult to continue buying dollars aggressively until we know whether or not this Greece this decision has been made.